Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about Dark Falz Aegis, specifically about the loot, and even more specifically about the Neo weapons. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. Alright, so the first thing I want to get out of the way is I got extremely lucky with my drops from Dark Falz Aegis. I've seen a lot of people get royally shafted, and I just keep getting Neo weapons with crazy fixes. As you can see here, this is my shining jewel, you know, the Neo Katana Fix Attack 3. It's got the HAL Finale as well as all of my endgame augments. It is a beautiful masterpiece. However, I know there are a lot of people out there that don't even have a Neo weapon yet because they've run it a bajillion times and they can't seem to get the Neo weapon that they need, or even worse, you don't even see a Neo weapon. So in today's video, we're going to have a discussion about the Neo weapons. First of all, what SEGA can improve in the future regarding loot, because I really didn't like how it was handled, even though I was super blessed and I got everything I wanted, but I know a lot of people got shafted and that's just not fair. And second of all, I'm going to explain why you shouldn't be too worried if you're not able to get the Neo weapon that you wanted, because it's not the end of the world. You're going to be able to get the weapons that you want starting from next week. So the very first thing I want to explain is how are you going to be able to get the Neo weapon of your choice starting from next week? Well, simply because on February 8th, we are actually going to be getting the 24-person limited time quest. So this is the plateau cleanup operation. And by running this limited time quest, you'll be able to farm the Neo's Justine weapon series. So when we scroll down here, you'll notice that we have two different Neo weapons. So I'm just going to call this Dark Neo and Light Neo because I can't pronounce these names. These are too complicated for me. So the Dark Neo weapons are the ones that we can obtain right now through Dark Falz Aegis. However, there are certain limitations. The biggest limitation that a lot of people have been talking about is this weapon is not tradable in the personal shop. So any duplicate items that you get, as well as weapons with fixes, whatever, unfortunately you cannot sell them. All you can do with the duplicate items or the items that you don't want to use is exchange them into the Aegis Integras, and if you have 5 Aegis Integra, you can actually choose whatever weapon you want, so that is great. However, I want to bring to everyone's attention that the Light Neo weapons can be created to multi-weapons with the Dark Neo weapons, but on top of that, these weapons are tradable in the personal shop. Now, there is a catch to the Light Neo weapons because, you know, it's SEGA, there's always a catch, and the main catch over here is it is weaker than the Dark Neo weapons in terms of basic performance, but possesses the Light attribute. So the Light Neo weapons are going to be a relatively easy weapon to farm for, simply because you can spam the limited time quest as many times as you want. You're not at the mercy of SEGA waiting for an urgent quest to happen, or more specifically the Dark Falz Aegis urgent quest. You don't have to worry about it because the limited time quest, you can run it as many times as you want, so you're definitely going to be able to farm for these Light Neo weapons relatively easily. And on top of this, all of the extra Light Neo weapons that you don't want, you can throw them onto the market, so you can sell these weapons to your friends or make a little bit of meseta. However, I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. I do not think the Light Neo weapons are going to be worth a lot of meseta. Because of the amount of farming a lot of people are going to be doing, these weapons will not be worth a lot. That is my prediction for these weapons. However, these weapons are a good stepping stone if you don't have the Dark Neo weapons yet. The reason for this is because they possess the light element, and it just so happens that Dark Falz Aegis is weak to light. So by using this weapon in the Dark Falz Aegis urgent quest, you gain the additional elemental damage. However, on top of that, you can also apply elemental downs to Dark Falz Aegis, which is going to help you deal more damage as well as clear the boss a lot quicker. However, even then, you are still at the mercy of RNG, praying that you get a Dark Neo weapon to drop so that you can finally augment it to use it as your main weapon. Because remember, the Light Neo weapons, they're elemental weapons, they're slightly weaker than the Neo weapon, they might be even weaker than the Gunblaze weapons. I wouldn't be surprised if they were. So the purpose of the Light Neo weapons are really just for multi-weapons with your Dark Neo weapons, as well as a stepping stone so that you can farm Dark Falz Aegis comfortably. Now, you guys didn't hear me wrong. I did say farm Dark Falz Aegis. And the reason I said that is because starting from February 15th, we will be able to use our Alliance badges to exchange for the Dark Falz Aegis triggers, which will allow us to run it as many times as you want, as long as you have the triggers. So this is why I've been reminding everyone, please do your Alliance tasks. Your Alliance badges are super useful. You're going to need them, especially if you're planning to farm a ton of the Dark Falz Aegis urgent quest when the triggers become available. Now with all of that said, everyone's happy and good, right? Not really. We still need to address the elephant in the room, and that is the way that SEGA handled these weapon series. The main issue I have with the loot drop from the Dark Falz Aegis Urgent Quest is, first of all, you have to wait for the Urgent Quest to happen, right? So since we can't do the Urgent Quest whenever we want, what I really didn't understand was why couldn't they have made the Neo weapons have a 100% drop rate? Every time you clear the boss once, you are guaranteed to get at least one Neo weapon, because the Neo weapons aren't tradable. It says right here, not tradable in the personal shop. So it doesn't really make any sense to me on why SEGA had to be so stingy and be like, oh yeah, there's a chance, it's like a 50% chance or 80% chance, whatever. It doesn't matter. They should have just made it a guaranteed drop. Every time you complete Dark Falz Aegis, you are guaranteed one Neo weapon, and then, you know, possibly you might get 2 or 3 or 4. However, the fixes, of course, that's RNG, but I really felt like they should have made the Neo weapons guaranteed per run, because that way, even if you don't get the weapon that you want, you won't feel as bad, because you can see the progression towards your final weapon, because you just need 5 random Neo weapons and you can exchange them into the weapon that you actually want. So people won't be as disappointed whenever they finish a run and they don't get the Neo weapon that they wanted, or they don't get a fixa weapon or whatever. You're gonna be like, oh, it's fine, you know, I just need to do this 3 more times, 4 more times, and I'm guaranteed the weapon that I want. So people have a good sense of progression. And since it's not tradable anyway, what economy is it going to destroy? It's not going to destroy any economy, because all of these weapons are stuck on your account anyway. However, let's not stop there. The second thing that I've been complaining since the Alio region, or whenever they introduced the fixa system, was why can I not transfer fixas from the same weapon series? I don't understand why they have to be so stingy about it. For example, let's say that you get a Fixa Fatale 5 on some twin machine guns, but you don't play gunner, so you don't use the twin machine guns. Well, that weapon is absolutely useless now, because you can't trade it in the personal shop and you don't play the gunner class. So what do you do with it? There's absolutely no use. You just wasted all of your luck on a weapon that you don't use with a very high fixa, so you're just kind of like, oh, that really sucks. So I don't understand why they won't let us just transfer that Fixa 5 Fatale onto my Neo's katana, for example, because I use a katana. It just baffles me that they haven't implemented that system, because I don't understand why they have to be so stingy on, like, it has to be the exact same weapon or exact same name in order to transfer these fixes. It's not a great design in my personal opinion. I really don't like it, especially when it comes to character or account bound weapons and gear. It just needs to be easier, because the whole point of having account bound gear is so that people can grind for things and have a sense of progression. The more time you invest, the stronger you get. That is sort of the gameplay loop that most RPGs have. The more you play, the stronger you get. And so it just doesn't make sense, to me at least, that your fixas are locked onto that specific weapon. It should be, as long as it's in the same weapon series, you can transfer the fixas between all of them. I really want to see that happen, especially for account bound gear. But let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think? Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it interesting. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!